Tonight, Broken Hill residents cancelling their coronavirus vaccinations as authorities change their plans. And Port Lincoln Salt Festival gets underway.
From our 7 Spencer Golf Studios, your nightly news with John Hunt begins now.
Good evening, everyone. Broken Hill's vaccine rollout is slowing as fears over the AstraZeneca vaccine continue. The local health district is now waiting on a revised plan as federal authorities investigate whether the vaccine may have caused fatal blood clots.
Vaccine safety concerns evident in the far west.
A number of clinics certainly are reporting that in that category also people are reluctant to have the vaccine.
The local health district following advice recommending the AstraZeneca shot only be given to those over the age of 50. But the fallout is still clear for that age group. At one clinic, more than 85% of bookings were cancelled.
About 55, 56 declined to have the medication and they're opting to wait for the Pfizer.
Exactly when and how the Pfizer vaccine will arrive in the region is still being worked through, with the CEO saying a decision is expected imminently. Recent changes to storage advice now make it easier to get the jab to our remote area.
It can be stored coming out of deep freeze for up to 2 weeks. That actually gives us a massive flexibility.
Meanwhile, health authorities are investigating whether there's a connection between the death of a woman from blood clots and a COVID-19 vaccine she had recently received. New South Wales Health says there is no confirmed link between her death and the vaccine, but the Therapeutic Goods Administration is still investigating. They say of 700,000 jabs given in Australia, only 2 cases of blood clots have been reported. Lachlan Itter, 7 Spencer Golf News.
Independent candidate for Narungga Diana Walter is proposing a radical plan to entice people to live and work in regional South Australia. She wants HECS debts waived if graduates commit to working outside Adelaide for a set period of time.
A large HECS debt is a burden many students carry after graduation. There's been different proposals over the years to entice more students to the regions, but Diana Walter thinks she's cracked the code.
Writing down or waiving the HECS help debt for anyone that has a degree that's willing to come and work in regional South Australia.
Her proposal would mean graduates would need to work in a regional location for 5 years or more to be eligible. She's now looking to have a conversation with the Commonwealth about her plan.
What we do know is that the Commonwealth Government is carrying significant debt for students that have a debt because they've chosen to undertake a particular tertiary course.
The federal member for Grey, Rowan Ramsey, agrees it's an ongoing issue and says they're already working on a solution.
But Diana's suggestion is on the money, and it is already in the process. I mean, it's one of the things that we've been considering.
However, he thinks a more lenient timeframe would work better.
I think locking someone into 5 years may be counterproductive. Look, you might find people are just not prepared to sign on for 5 years. That's why I think maybe there's a little bit more merit in pro rata.
Diana says her idea has so far received a positive response.
Some really interesting feedback, especially for people that are working currently in the health sector. And what we do know that it's really challenging to get allied health professionals not just to come to the regions, but to stay to the regions.
Shari Hams, 7 Spencer Golf News.
A teenager who assaulted a nurse at Port Lincoln Hospital in 2019 has been released on a mental health supervision order. Jaya Cheshire was found not guilty of aggravated assault causing harm due to mental incompetence. Amanda Tragus was left battered and bruised when she was repeatedly punched in the face while working in the hospital's emergency department. The trained boxer will not be allowed to go to Port Lincoln Hospital unless it's an emergency. A 61-year-old Ungara man has been reported for cultivating cannabis as part of a joint police investigation. Police raided the man's property just after midday yesterday and seized 11 cannabis plants which were growing in the backyard. The man was slapped with an on-the-spot fine for possessing the plants and drug paraphernalia. He will appear in the Port Lincoln Magistrates Court at a later date. Port Lincoln's annual Salt Festival has officially begun, with more than 100 shows ready to take to the stage. The Facing Air exhibition today helping launch the action-packed week of events.
Artists inspecting their pieces which line the gallery's walls.
We've had a lot of time in the planning and I'm really excited that it's finally all coming together tonight.
The Face on Air exhibition launching tonight at Port Lincoln's Nautilus Theatre, helping officially shake the Salt Festival to life after a 2-year hiatus.
So many local people and local artists. It's very salt and it's great to have it here in the heart of the festival.
Local faces gracing the walls as part of the exhibition, with more than a dozen different works on show.
For me, it's just really exciting to see the variety of work and the scope of the talent that we have here on the Eyre Peninsula.
The event is just one of more than 100 shows taking to the stage over the next 10 days, from comedy to rock tribute bands and the Adelaide Symphony Orchestra.
We put so many plans into 2020's festival, but we've been able to roll them into this year's festival and then add even more, so it's bigger and better than ever before.
But you'll have to get in quick, with tickets being snapped up fast.
Book often and book early to make sure they get good seats and they get into what they want to go to, because things are selling out.
The full list of events can be found on the SALT website. Nathan Rigter, 7 Spencer Golf News.
Still to come tonight, Port Lincoln's iconic long lunch back on the social calendar, and Quorn Silo set to pay tribute to our fallen heroes. Welcome back. A new mini music festival will begin in Broken Hill next week, with local artists and bands to perform for Live Music Month. Musicians welcoming the opportunity to play paid gigs as the sector recovers from pandemic restrictions.
The Hill to come alive with the sound of local music.
And this is how we chill out in Broken Hill.
14 local bands and artists to perform at 14 iconic locations across the city.
I think everyone's really glad to shake off the mothballs after, a year of, not a lot of activity.
West Darling Arts launching Live Music Month, a mini festival to restart the arts. Funded by a state government grant, venues and artists will be paid to perform, helping the sector recover from the pandemic.
What we thought would be the best way to do it would be to support the local musicians by paying them to perform and then teaming them with various venues around town.
Doing more shows, playing new stuff, sort of keeping the ball rolling and contributing to the live scene out here.
The Boys among the acts to perform during the event. They'll take over the old brewery for their gig.
We haven't had a chance to play there before, so it'll be good. It's got a massive stage.
There'll also be some more unusual venues on the program, including Bell's Milk Bar and the Broken Earth Cafe. The program expected to wrap up with the Silver City Comets, who will perform at the Geo Centre.
It's going to be great, and I hope the locals are going to embrace it.
And while the event is a one-off at this stage, artists hope it could become a yearly festival.
Hopefully that will turn to something more regular.
Lachlan Itter, 7 Spencer Golf News.
Taste buds are set to be tantalised in Port Lincoln, with the city's iconic long lunch back on the menu. 8 restaurants and pubs across the city taking part in the one-day event, which promotes the local food and hospitality industry.
Cooking up a storm for a taste of the Eyre Peninsula.
The first one will be one of our signature dishes, the seafood laksa, using Spencer Gulf prawns.
A melting pot of local ingredients coming together for this year's long lunch. The girls at Dolores Devine relishing the chance to be part of the major event.
I think it's a wonderful opportunity for people to try and taste different dishes in sort of smaller portions, but they can move around and see what Port Lincoln has to offer.
It's been a long time between drinks, with last year's event being scrapped due to COVID. A day of wining and dining as food lovers make their way around the city, with 8 eateries opening their doors for the lunch.
See what Port Lincoln has to offer. And there's so much variety out there.
From the beer garden to cocktails and then to the Lincoln Hotel, the aroma is set to draw in the crowds. Karen Dubois and her team setting up shop at the RSL for a 3-course, mouth-watering degustation.
We want to see them thrive, and by supporting them we hope that they do.
The event will take place on May 30th. Nathan Richter, 7 Spencer Golf News.
Quorn's tribute to the Anzacs will look different this year, with a special screening to be projected onto the local silos. Organisers say it's a fitting tribute to remember those who made the ultimate sacrifice.
Remembering our fallen soldiers with a twist. At dawn on Anzac Day, the Quorn silos will project a touching tribute to those who served and continue serving our country.
We have to keep the memory going. We have to keep the memory of the effects of war going. And this is a fantastic project.
The tribute stemming from a powerful local performance. Performing in Quorn earlier this year, musician Adam Brand brought attendees to their feet with a stirring rendition of The Anzac. The event organiser capturing the moment on camera, sparking an idea to put it on display.
It's actually really moving. Even when I was watching it, you kind of think back of all these young men back then, you know, fighting and standing in thick muddy trenches.
I'll find such a widespread of people who have a connection to this song. There's older people who have served our country over the years, then there's young people who are relatives of theirs, then there's young people who are serving now. And
featuring special footage and the names and images of local soldiers, residents are encouraged to visit.
If we can make a little tribute like this and give people some great memories of people that served, then it's a good thing.
It will be showcased as part of the Quorn Silo Art Show until April 30. Katrina Musson, 7 Spencer Golf News.
Stay with us. Port Augusta's youth come together for a community day, and Port Pirie children get in touch with their creative side as part of a school holiday program. Nearly 100 South Australians living with a disability have received support from a new state government service. Only operating for 4 months, the new program examines gaps in oversight and safeguarding for people living with a disability. The state government committing $1.2 million to the service over the next 3 years. Human Services Minister Michelle Lensink says the initiative will help locals navigate the National Disability Insurance Scheme and ensure they're receiving adequate support. A new South Australian hub will be developed to help build resilience to drought. Port Augusta will be among 5 nodes across the region aimed at increasing the use of drought-resilient practices. Grey MP Rowan Ramsey has backed the investment.
This will be supplying the technology, the links, dealing with farmers, getting their good ideas, dealing with the technologists, getting their good ideas, bringing them all together and getting these things implemented.
It's hoped the hub will support the state's primary producers, ensuring agricultural industries continue to grow in dry periods. A 37-kilometre stretch of road between Coober Pedy and Oodnadatta will soon receive an upgrade designed to improve safety and reliability. The fix's part of an $8 million road safety investment by the federal and state governments. The aim is to improve rural and remote roads, as well as community infrastructure in the region. Lying to the north of Port Augusta, this section of Kemp Road will receive resealing and pavement rehabilitation. There was plenty of activity at the Port Augusta Skate Park in Foreshore today, with local organisations coming together to host a Community Youth Day. It's hoped the event will encourage young people to be more involved in the community.
It's the event leaving a positive mark on young people. Local organisations rallied together for Port Augusta's A Day at the Wave, providing a safe space for youth to connect with their community.
To let the youth know that we've heard them, we're giving them a voice and we're putting on an event to let them know that we want to engage with them and inspire them to be the best versions of themselves.
Aiming to spark inspiration in local youth, there was plenty of activities on offer.
I guess a lot of youth are finding that there's not much to do around town, so just giving them something fun to do.
From sport competitions to live music and free food, it proved popular with those taking part.
Yeah, it's going to be fun. And when I saw the posters, I was like, yeah, I'm going to that.
Just looks like a pretty good day to come out and play some basketball.
The day made possible by a wave of community support.
We've got Big W, Coles, Woolworths and Max Cranes, and also Port Augusta City Council, who've been sponsors of the event alongside of the not-for-profit and government organisations represented here today.
Organisers hoping to run more events like this one in the future.
I would like to see more of these so I can come to more, have fun.
Like more comps, different sports, and yeah, it's been pretty fun.
Katrina Musson, 7 Spencer Golf News.
Local artists have been busy inspiring the next generation, with school holiday classes now underway at Port Pirie's Art Gallery. Organisers say children are ecstatic to attend the sessions and get their creative energy flowing.
Cutting, moulding and creating, these eager young artists are making their masterpieces while surrounded by an exhibition at Port Pirie's Art Gallery.
It's enjoyable because I love making with clay. I've learned how to mould the shapes.
Resident artist Kylie Kumbis is eager to get creative by making clay pots.
We're doing some clay work today, so we've been holding workshops all week this week for the kids during school holidays. So yeah, it's been fun.
She helps us with cutting the clay.
There's been a range of classes this week, including educational lessons on Aboriginal artwork.
We had a local Aboriginal artist come in this week for one of the classes, so we were able to talk to her and learn her story and see some of her artwork, and the kids were really excited about that too.
She claims it's the perfect space for kids with an artistic flair.
There's lots of opportunities for kids that play sport and things like that to take opportunities like that, but there's not a lot of arty things for arty kids, so it's good that we've been able to do this.
The kids also enjoying catching up with their friends, with term 2 only around the corner.
Because we only got 2 weeks of school holidays.
Shari Hams, 7 Spencer Golf News.
Stay with us after the break. Our footy experts will preview the weekend's action. And we'll have the weather details with Alex Sykes. Hello again. Our region's footy season continues this weekend, with Broken Hills League entering round 2, while the Wyler Football League gets their season underway. With a preview, here's our experts with their tips.
Welcome to season 2021 in Wyler football. It's going to be a great season this year. A couple of new coaches for some clubs, and we've got 2 grounds looking absolutely magnificent after some work during the summer. First up on Saturday, we get a grand final replay, Central Wyler versus West Wyler at Bennett Oval. Centrals are the reigning premiers. They have lost a few players to some other clubs and leagues this season, but I think they're still going to be a bit too strong, and they are the reigning premiers. Saturday's other game at Memorial Oval between North Wyler and Rapina. These are the 2 clubs with the 2 new coaches. Expect big things from both teams, but I think North Wyler, with their experience, plus it's their training ground, should be a bit too strong. And finally on Sunday at Bennett Oval, it's Waruna Bay versus South Wyler. Big things expected of the Bays this year. They've got a young group that have been getting better and better each season, and I think that they'll be a little bit too strong for the Demons.
Round 2 of Broken Hill football this weekend. The first game, it's a double-header at Jubilee Oval. South take on Central. Both lost their opening round. Who will hit back? It'll be South. They're the reigning champs. They'll fight back. Too strong for Central. Late game, North take on West. West are a team that were looking to play in a grand final. They were super last weekend. I think they'll have too much run and too much pressure for the Bulldogs. North won last week. They're not quite fit enough. West for mine and the Roos.
Time now to check what you can expect weather-wise across the region this weekend. With the latest forecast, it's a very good evening to Alex Sykes.
Thanks, John. Some showers across parts of our region today, mainly fine elsewhere. From 3 p.m, Port Augusta was partly cloudy and 23, a shower or 2 in Wyler, 20 degrees, and Port Lincoln was 19. Looking further out across the region now, Broken Hill is partly cloudy and 21, Port Pirie, Cooper Pedy and Woodner all 23. There were showers in Kadina and Cleve, both 18. Similar conditions in Clare, also 18 degrees, and Adelaide was partly cloudy and 19 degrees. Taking a look at the satellite image now, cloud over parts of central SA due to an upper trough is triggering showers and a few thunderstorms. Cloud in the far northeast in a trough is bringing patchy rain. Skies are generally clear elsewhere under a belt of high pressure. Moving on to tomorrow's weather outlook now, and we'll start with the Gulf waters. South to southeasterly winds 10 to 20 knots, seas around 1.5 metres. South to southwesterly swell 1.5 to 2.5 metres. A look at your weekend forecast now, mainly fine conditions tomorrow. Port Lincoln 22, Cleve 21, mostly sunny in Woodness set to reach a high of 23 degrees there. Whyalla mostly sunny 21, Port Augusta sunny and 23, partly cloudy in Kadina a top of 22 degrees there. Port Pirie mostly sunny 23, Clare partly cloudy and 19, and Broken Hill will be sunny and 20 degrees. While on Sunday, sunny in Cooper Pedy and Broken Hill, partly cloudy across the rest of the region, and showers in Adelaide, a max of 21 degrees there. Looking ahead to the rest of the week now, similar conditions again on Monday. Temperatures set to be in the mid-20s. Port Augusta will have the region's top of 26, while Adelaide will record the lowest temp, a top of 22 degrees there. Heating up on Tuesday slightly, sunny in Cooper Pedy set to be a max of 27 degrees there. Also sunny in Broken Hill. Showers forecast for Port Lincoln and Adelaide, and mainly fine conditions elsewhere. So a beautiful autumn weekend forecast there, John, for everyone to enjoy. And that's all the weather from me for tonight. It's back to you.
Thanks for that, Alex. And that's the local news for tonight and the week. Just a reminder, you can follow us on social media at Facebook, Twitter and YouTube. I'm John Hunt. Thanks for your company. I'll have updates later, and we will be back Monday night at 7. Have a great weekend. Good night.